He lost it. He didn't win it. He lost it. Hey, give it up for Brian Aldridge, everybody. Brian!
Thank you, audience. Thank you all. Hey, thank you all so much for that medium amount of applause. That was excellent. Before I get going, how about one more real nice round of applause for me? I'm charming, I smile, people love that. I guess I'll ask this first since I'm here. Who lives here? Who lives like full time, not 6 months in a day? Like who lives here? Good. All right, I'm amongst you now. I'm one of you. I'm a Florida resident. Thank you for having me, Audie. Thank you. Thank you. I love it here. I love it. I've lived here a little over 5 years. Don't shake your head at me. That's 5 hurricane seasons, damn it. I put some work in. I deserve it. I've lived here long enough, I yell at people. Like I'd be like, hey, take your ass back to New York. Like I do shit like that. Right? But I haven't lived here long enough, like I don't know if someone's Mexican or Cuban. And neither do you. Don't pretend that you do. And you would think I would, because my wife is Mexican. Maybe she's Cuban. I don't really know at this point. It's one of the brown ones for sure. I live up the road, Tampa, Florida. That's where I live. The good part, damn it, all right? Everyone sleeps indoors in my neighborhood. Originally, though, from Chicago. I came like 35 years. I lived in Chicago. And yeah, we got a couple duckers, survivors. I don't know if you know the reputation for the city of Chicago. It's very dangerous. You know you live in a dangerous city when you're like, we got to move down to Tampa, Florida, where it's safe. We can relax. Their wallet out. Here's how I'll start. I'll do a quick series of jokes. I'll do like a fast joke. And if it goes well, we'll try and build some momentum, keep going off of those. If not, I got an audience participation bit sitting in my back pocket. We'll bust that out and have fun with that at least. Let's go. It's really up to you guys, is what this is all about. When I was a younger man, much younger man, in my 20s, whenever I would take a woman on our very first date, I'd always ask her if she felt comfortable chipping in to pay for her own food. Not because I was cheap and I don't want to pay. I don't want our first date sitting across from each other. She thinks I'm like expecting some action just because I bought her dinner. But if the date went well and we did end up having sex, I would reimburse her for that dinner. That's a very good policy. It is. You just keep the receipt, though. You gotta keep the receipt. Without a receipt, store credit. Best I can do at that point. All right, let's do that audience participation bit. Let's knock that right out of the park. I'm gonna test your science knowledge. If you know the answer to my question, just yell it out. We're gonna have fun. Let's get crazy. Let's pretend it's Friday. Let's get wild in here. Let loose. You're at the beach, and a jellyfish stings one of your friends. What would you do? Piss on him. You would piss on him, right? Your friend, right? Not the jellyfish. You don't. You're like, get over here, jellyfish. That's just revenge. If someone gets stung by a jellyfish and you pee on it, it stops hurting, and for some reason we know that right away. But how did the first guy know? That's a hell of a gamble. His poor friend's just laying in the sand like, oh my God, the jellyfish, and he runs up, all confident, like, hear me out. Is that joke stupid? Yeah, audience, that joke's stupid, but I was public schooled, so I'm a moron. Who went to a public school? Yeah? What'd you learn? Nothing. What'd you learn? How to run away from alligators. Stop, drop, and roll. Do we got an auction here? Get into No one mentioned Roman numerals. We shut down 3rd grade for a week to learn Roman numerals. Thank God we learned Roman numerals, because now you know which Super Bowl you're watching on TV. It's very important here in America. And which Rocky movie comes on later on TBS. You don't want to sit through Rocky V again. Now public school kids learn like anatomy in their health class. My best friend, he got a 10-year-old son. that boy knows the complete anatomy of a female body. When I was 10 years old, I didn't know what a fallopian tube was. I'll be perfectly, I don't know what a fallopian tube is right now. That's not even my fault. Fallopian tube sounds like it could be a fun slide at a water park. They could trick me with a good commercial, like, come on out this summer, slide the fallopian tube. I'm like, I'll do that. I will go head first on that one. That's a good one. I didn't get to learn about any of that stuff in a classroom with a teacher that could answer a question if I was embarrassed. I had to learn about that stuff because I busted in on my parents when I was a little kid. Just a little dumb version of me. I busted in there like, hey mom, like, who's that guy? And why is dad videotaping? Like, you don't understand what a boom mic is. You just want to know your mom's okay. You got some follow-up question. Oh no, was mom stung by the jellyfish? And like, we brought it home, didn't we? You were wondering, what's he doing with the jellyfish? He did that with the jellyfish. My parents are here, by the way. Give it up for my parents. They just they're like, that's not true. That didn't really happen. There was no jellyfish. There was no jellyfish. I just ruined that for all you guys. If you're drinking alcohol tonight, I'm so jealous of you. I quit drinking forever. I quit drinking forever right after college, and that was the worst decision of my life. I'm always sober. Now if something sucks, I'm like, great, I'll remember this. Nobody's proud of a sober adult. Nobody finds out I don't drink alcohol and is like, oh, you don't drink alcohol? That's so amazing. No. They're like, oh, you don't drink alcohol. You should drive us everywhere all the time. That's your job. Bring your keys. I had to have a bachelor party as a sober guy. Nobody wants to throw that party. My best man, he didn't give up though. Like, he didn't find out I quit drinking alcohol and go, oh, he doesn't drink, let's play frisbee golf. No. He had my bachelor party at a strip club anyways, because your bachelor party isn't for you at all. That's their party. You're just the alibi for the stuff they want to do. They just look at you the whole time like, yeah, we could have done this without you, man. You're lucky we invited you to this party. You sober piece of shit. This is not popular to say in the state of Florida, but I don't really like strip clubs. I've got some good reasons, don't worry, audience. My first reason, I don't want to sound like some conspiracy theorist with a tinfoil hat, but one of the reasons I don't like strip clubs is I think, audience, the girls who work at strip clubs lie to you. I think they lie to you about being into you so you'll give them more money. I think every damn thing they say is a lie. Except for why they're doing it. That seems pretty consistent across the board. They're all there dancing to pay their way through some sort of college or a respectable nursing school program. She said it on stage, I believe her, right? Because why would a woman named Diamond lie to me twice? So when I go to these places, I'm not some pig throwing money at a naked woman. I'm a gentleman contributing to a nursing school scholarship program. So if you're at a good nurse, save your life, I might have paid her tuition $1 at a time. The other reason I don't like strip clubs is I'm a comedian. I have to work on the weekend. And we had my bachelor party when I was home, and everybody gets it. We had my bachelor party at a strip club on a Tuesday. I don't know if you've ever been out to the strip club on a Tuesday night. That's not the starting lineup. You're deep into the bench on a Tuesday night. You might even see a developmental player up there towards the end, and I don't know what that is. The main event of your bachelor party is your friends pay one of the women working there money, and she brings you on stage and embarrasses you and dances on you and things like that. So they have to pay one of the women to do this. Audience, the woman they pick out and pay money to, not super pretty, okay? It's not their fault. They didn't have a lot to choose from. It's not the woman's fault either. Because she's working as hard as she can at a strip club on Tuesday. We don't know her story. Maybe God made her not very pretty. But I'm sure meth also made her not very pretty. I think the meth had more to do with it. She had a big drug problem, audience, okay? She wasn't ashamed of it, though. It was part of her. She leaned into it. She knew. Because she chose Crystal for her stage name. Because of the crystal meth. That was dumb, but I did it. So now Crystal, the ugly stripper, and some of her teeth took me up onto the stage. Yeah, she did drugs. The teeth are gone, audience. A lot of judgy oh, she's missing half her teeth. Yeah, she's missing half her teeth. But I'm more of a mouth half full kind of guy, all right? She had the other half. She's doing her best, and it distracted me from her very big penis, audience. That's what it did. Yeah, it's a fact. It happened. But we don't fire women we're having penises anymore. You sit in a chair on the stage, and you take it in the ribs like a real man. You're like, what's that in my ribs? What am I feeling right now? Progress, that's what that is. That's hard progress in your ribs. Hey, wear a t-shirt for a little while after that party. You're gonna wanna wear a t-shirt because if somebody sees those bruises, they'll get curious. They'll start asking you reasonable questions like, hey, did somebody punch you in your ribs? And were they holding a mushroom? Like reasonable questions. And you gotta be like, no, we had a bachelor party. Lady ate a wiener, got weird. It's not that big a deal. And he's like, oh, you must have went on Tuesday. You went Tuesday? Yeah. Crystal works Tuesday. You gotta watch out for that wiener. So I'm just kind of sitting in a chair. She's gonna tell me what's happening. She walks up, leans in, and she got her drug teeth very close to my face at this point. And she's like, this is your party. A lot of air coming at my face. With the pee and part, I could definitely smell her breath in my ear, right? Like her breath stank, I could hear it. She's like, this is your party. No rules. No rules at all. When I dance in your lap, I will let you put your hands wherever you want. And I was like, all right, go. Because you're ugly, so I did that. Maybe I should have covered the ear too, right? You gotta cover the ear because she stank. Look, audience, it's not my fault that I'm a moron. We give morons a lot of attention. Do you remember a couple years ago, kids ate laundry detergent on the internet, and none of us were like, hey, we need to help these kids. No, we shared the video and made fun of them. Everyone thinks the generation below them in age is the worst. But I'm in my mid-40s, and for more than half of my life, there's been a television show where a woman can go on TV and find out who the true father of her baby is. It's called the Maury Povich Talk Show, and if you've never seen the Maury Povich Talk Show because you got a job or someone who loves you at your house, I'll just tell you what happened every day. 5 days a week for 25 years, a woman brings a baby on TV. She's not 100% sure who the father of the baby is. So the Maury Povich Show flies every guy from her neighborhood out to the show. They give them all a DNA test and they sort it out. Here's what I don't like about the show, audience. That show's only designed to embarrass the woman. She's the only one being held accountable, and they bring her out first, and they try to make her feel bad, and they're like, you slept with some guys? You must be like a hoe or a slut. But you know damn well any man they bring out there probably slept with twice as many women back home, but men get away with it and women get held up. Who thinks that's a bullshit double standard as a woman, right? You see that right there? That's how you find the whores in an audience. I tricked you. As soon as I was like, I'm a moron, I was setting that up. And I got to level with you. This is a whore-heavy crowd for a Thursday night. There are a lot of whores here. You got to know your audience, and you got to know if there's whores in the audience. You can't just have a microphone and be like, are there any whores? They never clap or raise their hand. You got to trick them. Now that I do live in Florida, I've noticed something about myself. I'm willing to help people based mostly on whether or not I like their sign, and not their astrological sign, the physical sign they're holding in their hand. One man's sign said, we need money for gas. And the woman with him had a gas can. And I was like, that checks out. I pull up on him, hey guys, love what you're doing here. Want to be a part of it. I don't have any cash, but what I will do is I will take that gas can and I'll drive it towards that gas station. and I'll use my credit card to fill it up for you. And I was expecting him to be like, well, thank you. That's exactly what we're going for here. But no, audience. He laughs right at my face. He's like, yeah, right. We ride with our gas can. Now, I didn't have the heart to break it to him that I'm not really ready to take a risk on 2 murderers and a gas can in my back seat. So what I tell this guy is like, hey man, while I'm getting your gas, you can still be here with your sign getting money. So you'll get gas and money at the same time. That made sense to him. So he gives me the gas can and I start driving it towards the gas station. And that is the story of how I got a new gas can. I took it, audience, I had to. They had nothing. Now they have less, is what they have. Like, I live in Florida now. I have to build up my hurricane kits. I've enough time to dig myself out of a hole after doing this joke, so I'm going to do it. I promise you one thing. Some of you will like it a lot. Some of you will hate it a lot. And you're both right. I don't smoke marijuana. I know, it sounds awesome. I know, I wish I did. It looks awesome. But I do think a lot about time travel. It's a pothead's favorite thing to do. What's the first thing everybody associates with traveling in time? They all tell themselves if they could go back in time, they would kill Adolf Hitler when he was a little baby so that they could avoid all that bad stuff from happening. It's a noble concept, but I don't think any of you have it in you. It's not that easy. Go back in time. Kill a little adorable goo-goo gaga. That's why if we ever do invent a time machine, first person in that time machine better be like a super liberal feminist, because you know she'll kill a baby. I told you. I told you. I was like, some of you will really hate that, but some of you might like it. Even if like I was hit the wrong side of your political spectrum, it was well crafted. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. A lot of my friends shy away now from political humor. Here's what they say. They're like, if I say the wrong thing while doing political humor, I might piss off half the audience. And I always tell my friends, hey, if you're doing political humor that only pisses off half the audience, you're not having enough fun while you're on stage. So I've still got some time. What I'd like to do is a little bit of political humor designed to piss off the entire audience. I would like to make you as angry as I can, as fast as I can. But then, because I'm a good comedian, I'll do some adorable humor to win your hearts back. First, political humor. By the way, I got married on January 29th, 2016, and it was the best day of my life, guys. January 20th. I say the whole date so that if I say it 200 times a year, I won't forget. That's why I do that. I got married in the year of 2016, and my wife is a second-generation Mexican lady. And a lot of her family was born on the border of Texas. That's all you need to know for this first one. 2016, Mexicans in Texas. And a presidential election. I don't know if you remember that one. That one got dicey. I didn't know who I was going to vote for. My wife thought she would say something to steer me in a direction. She said, are you going to vote for the woman who'll show my daughter that anything is possible? Or are you going to vote for the man who might try to deport half my family? And I said, you are not making this any easier. A lot of them live with us now. They got to go. They're costing me money. The problem with liberals, I'm coming after you, you bastards. The problem with liberals, all liberals ever want to do is spend other people's money. That's all you know how to do, liberals, spend other people's money. At least when a Republican spends other people's money, that's his own father's money. I got you both, you bastards. Nobody saw it coming. Some people don't believe there's a gap in wages between men and women, and it's gone most places, but some industries still have a wage gap between men and, like if they start with the same type of experience for every dollar a man makes doing a job, a woman might only get 70 cents doing the same job. That's not fair. We gotta fight to make it fair. Because a woman, she's only useless 1 week out of the month. That's 25% of the time. She should get 75 cents on every dollar. We have to fight for her nickel, audience. I don't mean that at all. Obviously, you should make the same amount of money, but I wish you could stand up on stage and watch me tell that joke to an audience, because there's some pissed off looks on the women's faces. I'm never sure if the women are real pissed off because the whole wage gap thing, or just because there's too much math in what I'm saying and they can't understand it. But either way, that worked. You guys are pissed. Like, I saw someone, you would chuck a battery in the air right now. You would just throw a battery right at me if you had one, but you probably missed because you're a girl. And like, that was fun. I think we got there. I think everyone's visibly upset. I promised the second part. Winning your hearts back through adorable humor. I'm willing to put the work in. My first joke in my road to redemption has a small dog in it. That's how cool dogs are. Some of you are like, I'm gonna give him a chance. I have a small dog named Licorice. He's a pug. I don't know if you know what a pug is. That's a small dog. He got like a smashed in face and curly tail. He can't really see or breathe or anything like that. And all day he just bumps into stuff and pees on it a little because it scares him. How cute was that? My favorite audience, my favorite place to fart, elevator. And it's not even close. Not when it's full, I'm not an animal. But there is a perfect time to fart in an elevator. Some of you are like, yeah, as you leave the elevator. I respectfully disagree. Because if you fart as you leave the elevator, you don't even get to enjoy the reaction on their faces. You just wasted it. That's the tree in the forest of your farts is what that is. Here's the perfect time to fart in an elevator. You ever been by yourself in an elevator? About to go up? Solo ride? Out of nowhere, some guy runs in, sticks his arm in the door, now you gotta ride with him? Audience, that man took something from you. So as soon as the doors close and you start to move, you look right at his face. You look right at his face and you fart as loud as you can. And you make eye contact with him too. And you do this thing where you wave a fart at a guy's nose. You barely know, and I'll guarantee you the next time he's late for the elevator, he starts running towards it. But then he's like, nope, I better wait. I better wait for the next one. That fart guy might be in there. You changed the world. Now I want to tell you some good news about my life, audience. This past summer, our daughter graduated from high school. Thank you. See, I will end it on a high note. She graduated high school, threw a party with all her friends. They got together, had a nice graduation party. They had pot brownies at their party, because those are super cool, if you know what you're doing. You're supposed to eat a small piece of the brownie, see what happens. Not these kids. They scarfed them down, like dessert brownies. And they got so high that the police had to come, because they called the police. Our daughter called the police on herself and her friends, and we had to pick her up. That's kind of embarrassing. On the way to get her, we're torn, because we're proud of her because she was accountable for her actions, but also, we didn't raise no snitch. We tried to talk to her about it, but she's high. It's like she's out of it. She doesn't understand what's happening. So we're going to let her get home and sleep it off. Talk to her in the morning. That's exactly what we do. We let her get home, sleep it off. We wake her up the next morning to talk to her. Audience, the next morning, she's still high. She's still high. The next morning, audience, we're like, all right, who sold you these brownies? And she's like, I don't want to get anybody in trouble. You're still high the next morning. This is not about getting somebody in trouble. We would like to buy some of these brownies. Like, you're an adult member of our family. You don't bogart your source. A couple of quick things before I dismount this stage. One, I was asked not to say this, but I'm going to. It's one of the servers along with the MC's birthday, and they have to work today on their birthday, so tip really well in case you have the birthday server, and give them a quick round of applause. They do a great job. They're the best. Whether you liked 3 minutes of my act or not, I am a charitable man. And I've started a fund that helps these brave women working their way into a career in the medical field. So what I have done is I've printed out a bunch of these stickers, And any money you give me for these stickers makes it directly into the fund. You can't see it from your chair, but it's just a picture of a stripper on a silhouette, and it says Nursing School Scholarship Program, donor. That's what it says on there. So shoot me that. The final thing, social media, that's mine, Aldridge Comedy. I'd love for you to follow me. I make it easy. I have cards that I give you after the show with all my stuff on it. It has a QR scanner, so you don't have to take the card and throw it away in front of me. As I'm begging you to follow me on social media, I do realize I got here in a bit of a hurry. I forgot those cards in my car. But if you liked what I did up here tonight, take a chance. Come out to the car. It's in the garage. Thanks for having me, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks.
Brian Aldridge, everybody.